Hey YouTube, this is Donnie.
And this is Jess, and welcome to another Eastwood series video. And in this video, we're going to show you the steps on how to paint a car from start to finish.
Now this is actually part 2 because we showed you how to paint the jambs of the car in the last video, and we're showing you step by step. And what we're doing in this video, we're going to show you how to paint the jambs of the doors. We have the doors off the car, and we're going to show you the steps that we took to paint those. You know, Jess, it really takes a lot of time to paint a car inside and out, a lot more than people think.
And especially when painting a car and doing a color change and changing the inside.
So if you're someone out there that's considering going to a shop and getting an estimate, you know, don't be shocked at the price that you might get because it does take a lot of labor, and materials are high too. So be ready for a hefty price tag whenever you get the total on that.
Alright everyone, let's get started.
Like I've mentioned in a lot of videos, there are a lot of ways to do things. And now we're showing you the way that we did this Mustang. And this ain't necessarily the way we do every job, but you know, you kind of look at the job, evaluate it, and determine what you want to do. So on this job, we was painting the jambs, and we decided to take all the panels off and paint the jambs. We're going to put the doors and the hood and deck lid back on, and then paint all the outside at one time. Now there may be instances where you may prefer to have the doors off, the hood, and paint it all at one time, so you have no, you don't have to mask the jambs, and you can do the whole entire panel, at the same time. There's some benefits to that, but the reason we want to do this separate and paint the jambs, put it all back together, and paint the outside is because we're going to be putting stripes on this, and that would make it difficult to get the stripes aligned just right if we didn't have the doors on. So we're going to go ahead and just paint the jambs off, put it all together, and then paint the outside. And another reason that you may want to paint the entire car at one time, the outside, is maybe it's a tri-coat or candy or something like that, and you really, it's really important when you're doing that, to have it all exactly the same, or you're going to see a shift in the colors. So there's a lot of different ways to do this, but we're going to show you what we did to this Mustang. And now in this video, we're painting the doors, and what we're doing, we're back masking the edges just to keep overspray from getting on the outside, save us a little final sanding, when we're all done. And what I'm doing, I'm going around the edge and back masking. And when showing someone how to do something, when you're learning how to do this, you can teach in class, and they're going to learn a lot that way. But the best way that I've seen is just to follow by example. Do it, let them kind of repeat what you're doing, because if you just teach them theory, they're not really going to get it. And if you always do it for them and don't let them do it, they're not really going to grasp the full concept either. So what I do a lot of times, after I kind of taught this in class, I'll just start doing it. Like here, I'm doing one door, and they're just doing the exact same thing, or pretty close to what I'm doing, to the other door. And they'll just come over every once in a while and kind of look to see what I'm doing. They may have a few questions that they ask, and sometimes they bring something to my attention. Well, why don't you do this? And I'm always open to new ideas, and sometimes someone that don't know much about it has a good idea. So you always got to be open. You can always learn in this business, or anything really. If you think you know everything, that's just limited you right there. I know some of the best painters that they love to learn, and they're the best students because they're still learning and always open to new ideas. But we're going around these two doors, and we're masking the edges. And like I said, that's just to keep overspray from getting on the surface, and it'll save some sanding, because it seems like the base coat and clear coats, sometimes when you sand them, they're kind of tacky, kind of hard to sand, and doesn't sand quite like primer, when it's fresh. So we're going around all the edges here, and you notice I'll go around the outside edge, and I've also built a back masking area for the inside of the door, because we don't want all the overspray going inside on the glass and things like that. Now here you see Becca, she's looking at what I'm doing, she's asking some questions, I'm explaining, and this is really how you learn. You just get in there and do it. And they're kind of checking it out, then they're going to go back over to their door and do what I'm, kind of repeat what I'm doing. And again, that just seems like the best way. Now with anything, you hear me say this in about every video. One of the first things we did before we started masking is we, washed it with soap and water, especially doors. They get a lot of oils and things like that on them. You want to make sure all of the silicones and waxes and things like that are off. Save you a lot of problems with fish eyes and problems like that. So we went around, we washed them soap and water, wiped them down with the wax and grease remover just to make sure, that any oils, you lubricate your latches and your hinges and things like that. You want to make sure you get all that off. Make sure it's super clean. And that also helps the tape stick, to the things that you're masking off. So we've got the outline done with the back masking. Now we're just going around and putting paper around it and just going to let the paper drop down to the ground, because the overspray is going to go down. We're going to be spraying these in a downdraft booth, so the overspray is just going to go down into those filters. So we went around that, we masked the center off, and that's just to keep it off the glass and off the hardware inside. Got mine masked off, and then they finished theirs over there. Now we have them in the booth, and we're cleaning them down one more time. You can never clean enough when you're doing any type of painting. I mean, it seems like it's repetitive, and it is, but a good paint job starts with a good cleaning, making sure all the contaminants are off of there. Now what we're doing, we're following the same process as we did in part one, where we was doing the jambs of the car. We're going to go around and spray all this with epoxy. We're using Eastwood's black epoxy just to seal everything off, provides good adhesion. And I don't think there's a lot of metal on these, but if there is, epoxy is also excellent for corrosion protection for metal. So we're going around, we're spraying these jam edges, and we're going to put one coat of this epoxy on there. And again, you could use paint sealer. We're using epoxy as a sealer, but there's a lot of different options that you could use here. But we chose this one for this car, and it works good as a sealer. And like I mentioned, the other option to doing it this way is to get some different style door stands, and where you can get around the whole door at one time, and that way you could paint the inside and outside at one time. And the benefit to that is you're not going to have to mask off the jambs, and you're not going to have any lines from the masking or anything like that. It makes a really clean job, and we've done it that way as well. But for this specific job, this is the way we decided to do it. And at this point, these students have just started spraying. We've done a few test panels and jumped right into this car, so they're just learning how. And I'll demonstrate a little bit and then let them do it. Now, I may show them a few things as we go, but the way I recommend learning how to paint, is probably a little further than recommended, away from the surface, because you have more control. If you hesitate for a second, it's not going to run. So I tend to have them spray back a little bit further and move slower. Now, as you become more experienced, you can get closer to the surface and move faster and really provide better results that way. But again, I have seen, if you try to teach them that way to start out with, it just ends up getting a lot of runs and things like that. So once they learn control, one of the hardest things when learning how to spray is the consistency, getting the distance and the speed right. If you move closer, you're going to have to move faster, and if you're further away, you're going to have to move slower. But anyway, this just takes practice, and that's what we're doing here, and they're doing an excellent job. And what we did with this, we put one coat of epoxy, 2 coats of base, and 2 coats of clear coat, just like we did with the jambs on the car. So little bit of practice, and that's all this takes. And this car, in upcoming videos, you're going to see the process, the steps that we do. Some of it may seem a little repetitive, but I wanted to with this series of videos, go step through step so that you can see the entire process. So there are the steps we took to paint the door jambs, and we'll show you more of the steps in upcoming videos. And there they are after we completed them. Look really nice.
Alright, and as always, we appreciate you watching the video. And be sure to subscribe and like our page if you haven't already. And if you would, share this with your friends.
And we'll see you in the next video.
And this is Jess, and in this video. I screwed it up already. Wait, you don't like my little facial expressions?
What?
I feel my eyebrows move. Okay.
Yeah.
I guess that was one.
What? I remember you.
Saying yeah.